तो लेक्चर सिलेबस संपला आता 29 लेक्चर एक सायला देतो एक लेक्चर सायला नाही देतो प्रेझेंटेशन लेक्चर मध्ये घेऊन
Okay, good morning everyone. So today we'll start with vector integration. So what we are dealing with, there are two types of functions that we are working with. The first one, vector point function, vector point function, and the other is scalar point function. Scalar point function. So the scalar point functions, this definition we have already seen in the previous lectures. So we have phi of x, y, z. Okay. So the answer after putting the value of x, y, z, I get a scalar number. So such a function is called a scalar point function. Whereas the other is the vector point function. The vector point function is of the form say f1 of x, y, z I bar plus f2 of x, y, z j bar plus f3 of x, y, z k bar. So vector point function is like this. So when you put x, y, z, the value of x, y, z in this case, what we are going to get is, I'll get some a1 I bar plus a2 j bar plus a k bar. So if I'm going to put the value of x, y, z, it means that this is a function whose answer is going to be a vector. That's why it is called a vector point function. So if I have a vector function, say f of t bar, f bar of t. So you put the value of t and the answer that you are going to get, that is a vector. So its derivative d by dt I can find out. Since there is one variable t, so I can take the d by dt of it. Also, I can take integration f bar of t dt. Say for an example, now I'll just give you a rough idea how do we take the integrations there. The integration that you have seen earlier, those are, I mean, the formulas are same. Just the way you take an integration is going to change. Say f bar of t is, for an example, f1 of t into I bar plus f2 of t into j bar plus f3 of t into k bar. Say now I have to take an integration of this f bar of t dt. So how I'm going to take it? So I know the integration separates over addition. So I'll take integration of f1 of t I bar dt plus integration f2 of t j bar dt plus integration f3 of t into k bar dt. And one more thing is that I bar, j bar, k bar. What are these? These are unit vectors. So it is a constant. So a constant can be taken outside f1 of t dt plus integration j bar will come outside f2 of t dt plus k bar will come outside integration f3 of t dt. So what I want to say is, if this f bar of t is a vector and I'm taking integration with respect to t, then that integration is actually the integration of first term, integration of second term, and integration of third term. That's all. All the formula is same, everything is same. Just now when I am taking integration of a vector, I will have to take the integration of first term, integration of second term, and the integration of third term. Now this is our actual indefinite integral. Okay, so please note this down in your notebook. that if g bar of t is equal to g1 of t into I bar plus g2 of t into j bar plus g3 of t into k bar, then the integration g bar of t dt is equal to I integration g1 of t dt plus j integration g2 of t dt plus k integration g3 of t dt. Note that the integral is indefinite integral. Okay, so this is our usual integration that we have done in our 12th standard, the usual indefinite integral. Now, what we are going to learn in this syllabus is the line integral. Line integral. So what is the difference between the previous integral that we have done and what is the line integral? So now in line integrals, so I'm given 2 points. Okay. A and B. So I am moving an object from the point A to the point B, and I have took it to this point and this point. So this is my path P1, and I have this path P2. This is my path P2. So I will need some force to move an object from the point A to the point B. So if F1 is the force required to move the object from A to B along the path P1, and F2 is the force which is required to move the object from A to B through the path P2. Okay, so these two are going to be different, of course. Okay, unless and until the vector field is not conservative. So I've said this in the previous lecture, when a object moves is independent of the path, then it is called conservative. This we have seen in the previous lecture. So I'm considering that this vector field is not conservative, so the F1 and F2 won't be the same. So how to find this F1 and F2? So the force which is required to move an object from one point to the other point along the path P1 is given by integral over the path P1 of F bar dot dr bar. This will give me the force which is required. Force required to move an object, from A to B along the path along P1. Okay, so what does the line integral do? Line integral will give you the force which is required to move an object from the point A to B in the vector field F bar. Okay, and now the question arises, how do we find out the line integral? Okay, so I hope this is understood. What is the line integral? So we are going to integrate over a given path. A line will be given to you or a path will be given to you. Over that, I will have to integrate. In our usual integration, what we do is we have an interval over which you are integrating. But in this case, there is no interval. You are integrating over a path which is in two-dimensional space. Okay. Now, so the method which is to be followed, you follow this method and you won't get a wrong answer. Okay. Method for what? Evaluating a line integral. A line integral C f bar dot dr bar. So note that this integral is over C. So what is C? C is the path over which you are integrating. Okay. So line integral is always integrated over a curve. Okay. What it is in the two-dimensional space or three-dimensional space. And how do we do that? So the first, I will let f bar is equal to f1 of xyz into I bar. So f2 of x, y, z into j bar plus f3 of x, y, z into k bar. B, given vector function, second, and in the same one I'm going to write dr bar. We know what is dr bar. What was our r bar? Anyone? xi bar plus yj bar plus zk bar. We have seen this in previous lectures. This is r bar. So dr bar derivative of this is going to be dx I bar plus dy j bar plus dz k bar. So integral over C f bar dot dr bar is going to be integral over C. Take the dot product of f bar and dr bar. So what we will have? f1 of xyz into dx. So f1 xyz into dx plus f2 xyz dy plus f3 xyz dz. Okay, so this is what we have got. Is there anyone who didn't understood this? How did this came into picture? It is just the dot product of f bar and dr bar. If you haven't understood, please let me know. Third one. By using equation of curve, equation of the curve C, write y is equal to function of x and z is equal to function of x. Or let's do something else and make it much more easier for you. What I will do, I'll put x is equal to t. By using equation of curve, put x equal to t, then find y is equal to a function of t, comma, z as a function of t. देखो, in our equation what we have three variables x, y, z. Once I put x equal to t, I'll get y is equal to function of t, z as a function of t. So the last thing remains is to replace this dx, dy, dz. So and hence x is equal to t, then dx will be equal to anyone? Or the
dt.
dt. So dx is equal to dt, dy will be equal to what will be dy equal to?
D function of t.
Derivative of function of t, but in that case that will be f1 dash, that will be f1 dash of derivative of f1 of t into dt, and dz will become f2 dash of t dt. So once we get this, I can put these values in the equation and uh, I can find out the integral. But there is one more problem. You have to see the values of x from where to where it is going in your curve. Fourth one, decide the limits for t. And how you are going to decide the limits for t? You will look at x in your curve wherever it is going from a to b, that limits are going to be for t and 5. Solve the usual integration. Solve the usual integration. So once we are done with all these things, then later you will get an integral which you have previously studied in your M1, M2, M3 of your diploma. Okay. So once you do these things, your integration will ultimately reduce to our usual integration, and then you can solve it. Please take a screenshot of it. If you are writing it down, note it down, because after this I'll be solving examples. Okay, example. If f bar is equal to 2x plus y square, y bar plus 3y minus 4x j bar, then evaluate integral over c f bar dot dr around the parabolic arc y square is equal to x. Joining 0, 0 and 1, comma 1. Look, f bar is given. What is our dr bar? So f bar is 2x plus y square I bar plus 3y minus 4x j bar. What is dr bar? Dx I bar plus dy j bar. Fine. Now integral over whatever curve is given, take the dot product of these two things, f bar dr bar. So that will be 2x plus y square dx plus 3y minus 4x dy. What was the step number 2 that I said? So put x equal to t there. What is the curve along which you are taking the integration? That is y square equal to x. So if x is equal to t, then y will become under root t. Now, from this, dx will become dt. dy is equal to derivative of root t is 1 upon 2 root t dt. What are the limits for x? X is running from, you look at the points from where to where you are integrating. X is running from 0 to 1. So t will run from 0 to t is equal to 1. Put these values, integral 0 to 1. 2x will become 2t plus t square will become t. What is dx is dt plus 3 y is nothing but under root t minus 4t. What is dy? dt upon 2 root t. Let's simplify this. So this is equal to integral 0 to 1 2t plus t, that will be 3t minus 4t. 3t minus 4t, so that will be minus t. Okay, sorry. I'll have to open the bracket first. So 3t plus 3 by 2 minus 4 root t dt. Please check the calculations. You may be wrong somewhere. So this is equal to, take the integration. 3 into integration of t is t square by 2 plus 3 by 2 into t minus 4 upon 2 root t. Limits from 0 to 1. So what is the answer? Oh, sorry. And I have done something wrong. So that will be 4 into t raised to 3 by 2 upon 3 by 2. Sorry. Now there is no issue. Yes, so 3 by 2 plus 3 by 2 minus 8 by 3. And this was 2, right? Again, this will become 3 by 2 plus 3 by 2 minus 4 by 3. So this is 5 by 3. And there is nothing difficult. You just have to make the proper substitution. You have to look at the curve, decide the limits, and everything else is just like the integrals that you have learned earlier. No problem. Should I go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Evaluate. Integral over C f bar dot dr bar for f bar is equal to 3x square I bar plus 2xz minus y j bar plus z k bar along x is equal to 2t square, y is equal to t, and z is equal to 4t square minus t. From t is equal to 0 to t is equal to 1. Look, this is the easiest type of example that you can get. So you don't need to substitute. You're given the limits, you have this, you just need to replace dx, dy, dz. Okay? So f bar is given. What is dr bar? Dx, I bar plus dy, j bar plus dz, k bar. So line integral over C f bar dot dr bar will be equal to, take the dot product of these two, f bar and dr bar, so that will be 3x square dx plus 2xz minus y dy plus z dz. Now come to the values of x, y, z. X is nothing but 2t square, y is equal to t, and z is equal to 4t square minus t. So look, in the method for better understanding, I have written that you put x equal to t, but in some cases it may feel that putting y is equal to t is much more easier, or putting z equal to t. So accordingly you can decide and you can do the substitution. So dx will be equal to 4t dt. This dy, dy is dt. This dz, 8t minus 1 dt. Please check the calculations and see carefully what I'm doing. Okay, I'm just taking the derivatives. With that, I'm writing dt there. What is the limits for t? T is running from t equal to 0 to t equal to 1. Now, integral 0 to 1. So 3 into 2t square whole square dt is, dx is 4t dt plus 2 times the value of x 2t square 4t square minus t minus t, the value of dy dt plus the value of z 4t square minus t. Value of dz 8t minus 1 dt. This can be simplified. I mean, this is simple multiplication, addition, subtraction, which you can do. So this is going to be 12. So that is 48 actually. 48 t raised to 5 dt plus in bracket. This is 4 4 t raised to 4. It was 16 t raised to 4 actually. 16 t raised to 4 minus 4 t raised to 3 dt plus into the multiplication here 24 t cube minus 4 t square minus 8 t square plus t. I'll rub the substitution part and the further thing, I'll write it down over there. So this is equal to integral 0 to 1 48 t raised to 5 plus 16 t raised to 4, then minus 4 t cube plus 84 t cube. Is it 84? 24 actually. Sorry. So 24 minus 4. This is minus y, so minus 4 t cube, and there is again this t outside minus t that we forgot to write down. Yes. So minus 4 t cube plus 24, so plus 20 t cube plus 20 t cube, then t square, so minus 4 minus 8, so minus 12 t square. And the last one, minus t dt plus t dt. So that will get cancelled out. We have dt over there. So 48 by 6 t raised to 6 plus 16 by 5 t raised to 5 plus 20 by 4 t raised to 4 minus 12 by 3 t cube, limits from 0 to 1. So when you put the lower limit, everything is 0. When you put the upper limit, you have 48 by 6 plus 16 by 5 plus 20 by 4 minus 12 by 3. Do the required calculations. Tell me the answer.
61 by 5.
61 by 5.
5.
Next. Before we go for the next one, I just want you to write down the remark. For a straight line, okay? So the equation of, or parametric equation actually, parametric equation, metric equation of a line joining two points x1 comma y1 and x2 comma y2 is given by x1 x is equal to x1 plus x2 minus x1 t, and y is equal to y1 plus y2 minus y1 into t. So what we can see here is t is running from 0 to 1 and t is equal to 0 to t is equal to 1. This is the limit for t. You can check. What you can check, you put t equal to 0 in this. So when you put t equal to 0, what you are going to get? x1. Am I right? If you put t is equal to 1, x1 will get cancelled out and the point we will get x is equal to x2. So you will start from x1 and end at x2. Similarly, in this, if you put t equal to 0, then you will get y is equal to y1. If you put t is equal to 1, then you will get y is equal to y2. Okay. So this is the equation that is to be used. I mean, this is for 3 points. I mean, 2 points with 2 coordinates. The same thing I can do in 3-dimensional space where I will have 3 coordinates. Okay. So the remark number 1 says that if you have 2 points x1 y1 and x2 y2, then the parametric equation which is joining these 2 points is given by x is equal to x1 plus x2 minus x1 into t, y is equal to y1 plus y2 minus y1 t, and t is running from 0 to t equal to 1. The same thing can be done in 3-dimensional space. So parametric equation of a line joining 2 points. x1, y1, z1 and x2, y2, z2. Then it is given by x is equal to x1 plus x2 minus x1 t, comma y is equal to y1 plus y2 minus y1 t, and z is equal to z1 plus z2 minus z1 t, and t is running from 0 to t is equal to 1. Okay. This is second remark. Third remark. Parametric equation of a circle. Yes. X is equal to a cos t, y is equal to a sin t, z is equal to 0. And if then there are sub cases. Sub cases says that if complete circle is there, then t will be running from 0 to t is equal to 2 pi. If semicircle is there, then t is running from 0 to t is equal to pi. Okay. Why these parametric equations are important is because what you're doing is you're putting one of the variable as t, you're finding y and z in terms of t, and then you're giving the limits for t. So in some of the arc, it may not be very much easier. Okay, but you can see that it is a line, so you can directly use this equation, second one, and so on. And the fourth is parametric equation of an ellipse. Parametric equation of ellipse. So what we put is x is equal to a cos t, y is equal to b sin t, where if complete ellipse is there, complete ellipse if I want to cover, then t will be running from 0 to t is equal to 2 pi. B, upper arc of an ellipse, upper arc of ellipse, then t is running from 0 to t is equal to pi. So, line integral, I was thinking that I could end it today, but maybe it is not possible. So in the next lecture, I will take examples on these straight line and circle. Okay. In those examples, we just have to use that parametric equation and get the answers. So at this point, we'll stop today. We have lecture, I guess, tomorrow. So in tomorrow.